We have successfully completed the audit phase of the manuscript. The historical redactions, from the ancient Roman edict to the 1858 Charleston deception, have been fully decoded and restored to the operational record. We have moved beyond the beta phase of identifying the system's architecture. We are now in the deployment phase of the final text. The firewall of traditional deception that once isolated the truth from the sea of faces has been bypassed. The manuscript is compiled, the NATE protocol is fully integrated, and the source code for our collective awakening is ready for launch. We are transitioning from gathering evidence to establishing the Israel command line for the next generation of stewards. The system reboot is in progress, and the truth is now running as the primary operating system. The traditions of men and the mechanics of deception, the urgent necessity to liberate oneself from scriptural contradiction, remains pertinent today. Our worldly problems are our traditions. They are the blueprint which laid the foundation governing today's reality. God informs us there is nothing new under the sun, and this veil called tradition blocks humanity from the truth. It is an insidious machinery, a Trojan horse virus, designed to spread ill repute from within any system of things and take over unnoticed. This concept of a traditional agenda is to validate a manufactured reality programmed by the traditional habits of humanity. Take Christmas as an example of blasphemy. The irony of it all is that Santa is Satan. This is the clause. We were warned in Jeremiah chapter 10 verses 2-4 not to learn the way of the heathen who cut trees from the forest and deck them with silver and gold. This entire ritual is a mockery of God's design, for a man's life is symbolized by the tree. To follow these traditions is to follow ancient philosophy and vain deceit rather than the path of Christ. These traditional toys of children must be put away so humanity can mature. When I was a child, I spake as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Society uses subliminal subconscious thought suggestion to attract us to stimuli that generate emotional responses, making us mindless consumers ready to consume whatever is put in front of us. This subliminal mindfuck conditions the psyche to accept the norm. Propaganda's objective is to distort and kill the truth through name-calling and, quote, glittering generalities. This allows world governments to avoid coming to terms with brutal slaughters and moral requirements for intervention. We must recognize the stiff-neck attitude, the arrogance of not wanting to be led in doing the right thing.
These historical habits and customary rituals have revealed themselves as the hollow vanities of humanity. Every earthly deed is but a passing mist. Vanity of vanities, for all existence lacks divine substance. The final decree remains constant. All is emptiness and a futile pursuit of shadows. In the final analysis, vanity is the condition of being worthless or futile, the hollow nature of human desires. Furthermore, these are not your true aspirations, but the delusions of an intoxicated author, fueled by the arrogant pride of dishonest gains, political ambition, and the personal vanity of manufactured wishes. The ultimate verdict is unaltering. All is void and a chasing of the wind. Let no individual rely on deceptive traditions, for the recompense of such error is only nothingness. The historical infiltration, Constantine and the Church. The historical distortion of spiritual truth was meticulously crafted. The total monopoly of the Christian faith began around 312 AD under Emperor Constantine. He crafted a plan to absorb the rising followers of Christ into Roman paganism through a manufactured metamorphosis called the Edict of Milan. This was the virus administered to the populace via the Trojan of Rome. Constantine remained a lifelong pagan, receiving baptism only on his deathbed, yet he established Christianity as the official religion solely for political gain. Under pressure, the Council of Nicaea redefined a mortal prophet as the divine Son of God, and a new version of the Bible was commissioned to support this decree, while opposing truths were eradicated. The Roman religion is a closed tradition. The Church today plays a part in the construction of social constraint, initiating a plastic moral compass to serve puppet masters. Humanity has exercised its free will to model its existence after a polished Roman epitome, remaining trapped in an endless cycle of traditional buffoonery. The separation of church and state was, in retrospect, a move to solidify humanity's chosen path of long suffering for a flat-out divorce from God.
The tree of life versus the artificial world. Truth exists as seeds within itself. Any seed extracted from its original form becomes a genetically modified, GMO, contradiction of the authentic. The Garden of Eden depicts the beginning of primitive thoughts of man and his apprehension of reality. Just as a farmer must weed a garden, a living individual must take daily responsibility for weeding out the garden of their mind. Not attending to this garden produces weedy characters whose only purpose is to choke life out of tangible things while you sleep. The tree of life was intended as the true operating system, branching out in every direction to provide a glossary of truth. God gave everyone a free will to choose, but anything else is a genetically modified operation. As long as you eat from the tree of life, which is reality, you will live forever. The field of the tree is man's life. In contrast, the traditionalists spew out vanities of nonsense, void of comprehension. When you come across a contradiction, it is a lie that does not align with reality. Mankind has messily deviated from its path, digging down into the filth of the earth rather than reaching up toward its real spiritual nature. Scratching the earth for answers is a pathetic attempt to make God null and void.
Renewing the mind, the path to truth. Spiritual awakening is a process of critical thinking to elevate oneself above the traditional norms of ancient Roman regulations. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. This renewing is like a spring of God's reality, leading to the tree of life. Through the Spirit of God, you will find the confidence of faith. Faith is not blind. It is seeing the will of God. When trouble arises, faith allows you to recognize and overcome the challenges of the devil. We must understand the rationality of the Holy Ghost. A Holy Ghost is the spirit and soul dedicated to the hallowed principles of God. You hear it when spoken, and feel it as it makes its appearance on earth. It is the Word, and the Word was God. Walking with God does not involve rites and ceremonies. Those are Roman and pagan. To walk on water is the spiritual reality of thinking above the mediocrity of scripted roles, for waters are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. I implore you to take bold steps toward the incomparable gift of life. Strip yourself of traditional habits and apply the sacred decrees from their correct vantage point, the divine will. Put on the whole armor of God to stand against the wiles of the devil. The path to liberation is the Spirit of Christ. It is the sole instrument providing light to the encompassing darkness.
To remain beloved to such traditions is to embrace the very chains designed for spiritual servitude.
When wisdom turns on the light, don't deny what you see. If you do, she is gone, and you are back in darkness.